Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Three More Things. This is my guest today, Bron Lewis.
Hello. It's lovely to be here, Codie.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thanks for having me in your beautiful Sunshine State.
Yeah. You love it here?
I do love it here.
Do you think you'll ever move back?
Nah. But I do love it here. I love to visit here. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit more relaxed. I live in Melbourne now, and it's just, we were in Melbourne before. We lived in Brisbane for 2 years. Do you know, in Melbourne, I'm still introduced on stage often, all the way from Brisbane.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I've
so
been
funny.
back for ages.
Especially because that's how we used to introduce you up here kind of thing.
Yeah, all over Melbourne.
Yeah.
I know. You just can never be from, So, but it's still, I'm a bit of a gypsy because I was born in Wagga, but I grew up in Canberra. And so So I only went to Wagga in school holidays, and then people will say, "Oh, you're from Wagga," because a lot of my material is about being from Wagga.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from Wagga. Do you know like Chris Franklin? I'm like, nah, I didn't actually go to school there. They're like, what? Oh,
I love that you just chose
said.
a famous comedian's name though.
Yeah,
Did you mean to? Or no. An actor, Chris Franklin?
No,
is that somebody?
Yeah, it is a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do know him actually. You're right. Maybe I do. Maybe I am from Wagga. No, so I don't really feel like I am from anywhere. So I guess it's a rich tapestry.
Is Dane Simpson from Wagga?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And he's really, he's committed to Wagga.
Yeah, he still lives there.
Yeah, and he runs this really great comedy room, night, or he has a comedy club thing, but not remotely moves. And so it's called Riverina Comedy, and he'll do a night, say the Friday night, in Wagga Wagga, and then he'll take the same lineup, and it'll almost always include a famous person like Nikki Britton or, Dave Hughes or whoever, and he will take them to a town in the Riverina, which has a really small population and no one ever goes there.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a really great comedy night there. So he's bringing
everyone in town goes?
Yeah. So
he's
doing
cool.
he's doing a really nice thing for the Riverina. So it's great he's there because I think often people will get good at comedy and then they'll leave to Sydney or Melbourne and then that's it. So people very rarely stay even in Brisbane. You'll notice that people just leave.
Yeah. It's so cool though to see people like Anissa and Mel Battle, and we've got Harley Breen and so many now. It's so cool that there's
Do you reckon Anissa will stay?
I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Who else is there? Someone's doing really well at the moment and they're like, no, I'll stay in Brisbane. I can't remember.
Well, Matt O'Kine moved back.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, hey?
Yeah.
And we've got, I think, Nikki Osborne's on Sunny Coast maybe. She might, I don't know. We've got a lot of people coming back to Brisbane or Queensland.
Well, congratulations.
Cool. Yeah.
Maybe this will be the next comedy hub.
Also, speaking of that, what Dane Simpson does with Wagga, I did something similar with Ben Stevenson down in Coffs Harbour, and I was like the open act. Brett Blake was the headline.
Oh, great.
Kappa was the MC. That was really cool.
Fantastic.
And he did one in Coffs, one in two small towns near Coffs Harbour.
Yeah,
so
great.
Cool.
And did they fill up? Everyone got involved?
Yeah. One in particular was this small as country town. I was walking around during the day going, fuck. But everyone was there.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Because it's the same thing. I think even in Brisbane, because people always are like, any town that's not Canberra, any city that's not, that's not Melbourne or Sydney, everyone likes to poo-poo them for being boring. So Adelaide, Canberra, Brisbane gets it, Perth gets it. Everyone's like, oh, there's nothing to do. There's nothing. It's not true. But one thing that you guys do get behind is when something like the Brisbane Comedy Festival happens, everyone goes. It feels like everyone goes. The Powerhouse at Brisbane is just heaving the whole 5 weeks of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. For example, you're doing how many shows over the next few days? You've got 2 more left.
I've got 2 more left. So I think it's 6, and then I'm going to come back. I'll come back for an encore show in June.
17th of June.
7th, yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's so cool. But also, it's so cool because you were telling me you did a solo show in the little side room here.
Yeah.
It's so cool because what's the capacity in that venue that I went to last
150.
night? And you filled that 6 or 7 times this trip. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, for the 7th of June, that's almost sold out, and that's a 200 and something seat.
That's unreal. Hey?
Yeah, it's really great.
Do you pinch yourself sometimes?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Also, that makes it sound like you were lucky. You are one of the hardest working people that I know. You and Anissa.
Yeah.
I'm so excited and I feel so many good things for you.
Oh,
and
thanks,
it's
mate.
But yeah, it must feel weird because it's only 3 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I had a moment with Anissa recently. It was we were at the Powerhouse and she was saying, she was in the switch room. And I don't know what the capacity is for the switch room, but she was like, yeah, it's sold out. And then I was just talking about a Melbourne show. She's doing the encore show in Melbourne at the same time. We're filming our shows at the same time, in the same venue. And I said, did you sell out? She was like, yeah, I've sold it out. So she sold over 200 tickets in a city that she very rarely goes to.
Yeah.
Just because she has hustled so hard, got so good at comedy, and like worked like magic on social media.
Yeah.
She just like put everything into it, and it's just worked.
Are you surprised? Like 3 years ago, if you could have seen where you are now, would that surprise you?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you always had that ambition.
I think because I think because it's my second career. Because before comedy, I was a high school teacher, and I kind of not left in like a blaze of glory. It wasn't. I wouldn't say that, but I left thinking that if I went back to that, it would be really disappointing. I feel like it kind of all finished, and it was quite symbolic. My last day of teaching, I'd been there for 10 years, and with teaching, you give it everything. Like you kind of like you have to I make a lot of jokes in my show that you saw last night about how, I didn't do anything as a teacher, but I was like the head of English for senior school over 2 schools, and so I had to like cross mark everyone. So I would get up at 4 a.m. and mark stuff before the kids would get up, and then teach all day and then come home, do dinner, and then mark after that. It's so much marking. It was awful.
Totally.
And I look back at that time and I'm like, I can't. I couldn't go back to it.
There was a pretty strong motivation.
Yeah, but I gave it so much, and I also missed out on like I was so tired for the kids. I'd be like, oh guys, I just when they'd wake up early, instead of like that feeling where I'm like, oh, they're up and they're so cute when they wake up. I was like, fuck, I'm halfway through this essay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah. So it kind of put a dampener on quite a special time in my life that I can only reflect on now and be like, oh, if only I cared a little bit less about teaching and a little bit more about that.
Yeah. I feel like I've got goosebumps. So you're saying if I'm going to be away from my kids, I'm going to fucking work. And
yes. And I even on my last day of teaching, I remember this thinking, because I was like, I've put so much into this school. It's going to be a nice farewell for me. Yeah. And there was not even a speech. It was
probably a good thing though, because otherwise you'd have some sort of nice feelings.
Absolutely. It was a moment like it was last day. There was like a farewell to some person who'd been there for a year. There was a morning tea for them, and I was like, "What is happening here?" And then the principal made a really tired speech, like, "All right, guys, have a nice holiday." And then someone went up and whispered in their ear. And she went, oh, and bronze off. Okay. All right, guys, so just if you eat the sausage rolls, there's sauce over here. And I was like, is that fucking it?
That's so funny.
And I felt like I was being pranked.
Yeah.
Like I was like, surely there's going to be a surprise on the way out. Therely be balloons.
Yeah.
There'll be a cake.
There and you got
exactly,
to walk
a walk of honor. Yeah. But there was, I'd walked out into like this really, really hot Melbourne day, walked out into the steps of the school, and I was like, oh my God, that's it. For 10 years, that's all I got. Oh, I'm bronze off. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah. And so I felt so much resentment towards a career that really, it truly is thankless. Yeah. I was like, and what did I like about it? And I liked the kids, most of them. And then and so I hope I made some difference at some point to someone. But then I had a moment where I was like, I have to do something that actually brings me joy. And if I am away from the kids, that it's for a good reason. Yeah, that it's like that it's I'm not fixing, any like someone's sentence structure. Yeah. They don't care, as if they're ever going to remember that. And no one cares about sentence structure now. And this is why teachers are so annoying about like spell, like, they're like, oh, it's actually that it should be a semicolon there. Yeah. And the reason why is because they have to put some kind of validation or some kind of relevance on their job, because it truly is. So when I see teachers do that, I'm like, oh, you are insufferable. Yeah. But I know why they do it, and it's just because the kids don't care about it, and they're like, please let these lessons mean something, and they don't. No one uses My mum asked me yesterday, do you ever use semicolons? I was like, nah, I haven't used one in years. And my kids were like, what's that? I was like, don't worry, you will never need to use one. They're gone. They're extinct.
I loved your show so much last night, and I think it was so good. Especially because I'm going through similar stuff with my kid at the moment, like the toilet going to the toilet by yourself thing was so relatable.
Yeah.
I feel like it was all so funny, but
Oh, thanks. I actually thought Ari doesn't follow Lucas as much to the bathroom, but now I'm thinking about it, that must be one extra level of an obstacle. If you're standing and his head's right there, you're like, okay, you need to back off, mate.
He does sometimes stick his head between my legs. I'm like, but definitely, I don't know, I probably shouldn't talk about your show too much, but
go
playing
for
with
it.
cars on the leg thing, that was hilarious. My son's gone through a bit of a toilet regression and sleeping regression right now.
Yeah.
Did you deal with that stuff with your three?
Yeah. The
Sleeping
sleeping
regression's
regression,
horrible.
it sucks.
Yeah.
So my eldest was my worst sleeper. My son's pretty good at sleeping, but I always remember that my daughter would wake up every single morning at 4:20. It killed me, and it was and also, and she was little. She was only 1, so it was not like she would be like, oh, I'll go back to. Do you know what? It is probably a bit earlier. There's no reasoning with a 1-year-old, and she would just and then. By 6 a.m, she'd be so exhausted, she'd be crying and she'd want to go back to bed. And I'd be like, you can't go back. Oh, my God. And so I'd go mad. But then you'd have some level of reprieve. Like she'd sleep till 6 one morning and be like, I've broken the camel's back.
Yeah.
We've done it. We've
Gives you
cured
this
it.
false sense of,
yeah. And then she'll go back.
Well,
and
my
you're like,
son with that doing poos, he was nailing it. He was doing such a good job, like just after he turned 2. And then just
in his pants all the
shit
time.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we'd transition to what's it called?
Undies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you.
And I shouldn't speak. You're kind of doing a similar thing at the moment. I don't want to talk too negatively about the daycare teacher.
Yeah, they've got a lot on, but you're allowed to complain about it. You're never going to want their job.
They've kind of put him back in nappies. I'm like, I'm trying really hard at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, anyway.
No, absolutely. So my son has never nailed the poos.
Yeah.
He's 4 now, and he still poos in his. And so we fought it so much. And the daycare that he goes to, he's only just moved to like a flash one, and they've said kids can't come here unless they're toilet trained.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. So we had like a deadline to get it right.
Which apparently puts a lot of pressure on the kid. Like the only podcast that I listen to is yours, obviously. I love Work 8 so much, but I listen to so many parenting podcasts.
Yeah, great.
And Dr. Lee Garvey from, I can't remember, Pop Culture Parenting. He's like, deadlines, horrible, because it puts so much pressure. It's like, well, it's hard not to put a deadline
I
on.
know, exactly, because you're like, I'm cleaning a 4-year-old's poo.
Yeah.
This is a huge turd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, mate. And my son is big. It's like your son. It's like you're lifting up these huge legs and you're like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
This feels crazy. But Lucas is going bananas with it. He's like, mate, you've got to stop doing this. But he's now traumatized by the whole thing.
Yeah, because I was doing that too. And then I realised from listening to these podcasts that I was shaming him too much. It's,
do you know what my mum called me on? I just finished a show at Powerhouse on Thursday and I was feeling so good. It was an awesome show. I had a great audience. Everything was great. I was in the car. I called Lucas. He put on the speakerphone. My mum's visiting at the moment and my mum can't handle that. Mum can't handle poo. I don't know how she had 5 kids.
Yeah.
So then apparently Lucas was out in the day and mum had to change. He'd already pooed his pants, so she had to change it and she was so upset about it. And she goes, I've got a really good strategy, Bron. All you do is you pretend to cry. I was like, I bet, what? And she goes, no, that's what I did. I sat on the couch and I pretended to cry.
Yeah.
And Ari, that's my son, he came over and he said, what's wrong, Mama? And she said, oh, I'm just so sad that you pooed your pants. Isn't that fucking insane?
Did that give you like flashbacks to your childhood as well?
No, I can't even remember her being there,
Yeah.
but I do remember. But I was like, this is not. I said, Mum, that is a dreadful approach. I think, and I'm grateful that she's there helping, but I'm like, Mum, you can't shame him into that. Like, you can't say like my entire feelings depend on whether you get this skill right.
The most impressive part about the fact that she had 5 kids as well is often they didn't even use disposable nappies back then. They used to use material nappies. I couldn't imagine. And I love the environment and I do my best in every other regard.
I know.
But I will not use a freaking material cloth nappy.
And it actually soaks through anyway. So you pick up a baby with a cloth one and they're always damp. Yeah. You're like, I don't reckon this is fun for anyone.
Yeah, it's tough. What are you doing? You were really big into CrossFit at one point, hey?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and at the moment, are you back into it or no?
No way. I really hurt my back doing it. I did it when because I went mad after having the 2 girls. I had them really close together and I felt like the only place that I could feel any kind of peace was if I was in a really awful exercise class where there was lots of noise and there was lots of movement and I was super distracted from my brain spiraling. And so I got really fit. And also like when you exercise, it's like with swimming, if you train a lot, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And
it's incredible for the mental health as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, I could see some kind of progress in exercise, whereas in parenting, the progress is so slow. It is so unbelievably slow.
Yeah.
Like I was still at 4, I'm cleaning shit out of undies.
So
and I'm
this
like,
was your way of finding milestones that you can celebrate.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was going lots to the point I was going like twice a day, and it, almost destroyed my relationship with my partner because he was like, you are obsessed with this, and you're like, any spare second you've got, you're there. And I was like, well, it's the only thing I like. So I found him, like he was like standing in the way between me and joy and me and progress and all this stuff. So it was really tricky.
Do you think you're an addictive person? Like, are you addicted
probably.
Do you think it's comedy now?
Yeah.
And you're into cycling, aren't you? Like,
I got it back in. I've got a Peloton at home because I was like, I hate running. I hate it.
So
I can't
boring,
swim.
Though. Yeah.
I can't swim. Peloton's good because you've got this screen and she just tells you what to do. And she's like, right, make it harder. It's like a spin class.
Yeah.
Because I have no willpower as well.
And do you, how long, like 30 minutes, 60 minutes?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
That's it,
That's
30
pretty
minutes.
Good.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's just, and Ari can play around me. He's plays fucking toys, toy cars all over my legs while I'm like spinning like mad. Yeah. So it's actually, the Peloton works well.
Yeah.
And it like I'm like, okay, well, I don't have to leave the house. Because that's the other thing. I was like, I'll join a gym. But I was like, I can't leave the house any more than I already am. Because when I travel, like if I'm on tour, you know, there could be I'm 5 in Perth for 5 days. And then up in the lead up to Perth, I'm out every single night.
Yeah.
And because the kids are at school and daycare, they see me very little around that time. In the lead up to the tour and then during the tour. And then there's after the tour where I'm home a lot. So if I'm like, I can't, you know, for ages I was like, well, I can't exercise because I have no time. And then I was like, you know, slowly just getting all squishy and, my mental health was falling to bits.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to spend heaps of money on an exercise bike that I use 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's
probably
been
good in the long run for everything.
Are you still swimming?
That's all I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, great.
I've just started a new job, actually.
What's your job?
Insurance.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh, that's great.
But it sounds horribly boring, but I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, good.
And I can swim before work.
Yeah.
And I've done it almost every morning last week. And
oh, wow.
I hate swimming. It's so boring, but at least
Can you listen to music? Like, is there headphones for swimming?
There is, but I don't know. I've just been hopping in, getting it done, hopping out, and my mental health the last 2 weeks has just been incredible.
How far do you swim?
Not far, 500 metres. It's not physically helping me at all, but it's really mentally.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, ticking a
So what time do you have
box.
to get up in the morning for that?
Early, but I'm good with it. You know, I'm good with that. Like 5.
Yeah, you would be used to
5:30.
that.
Yeah.
And is it just a swimming pool really close to your house?
Yeah, close to work. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So does that mean it's hard on your wife doing all the mornings by herself?
No, because I pretty much am in charge. If he wakes up at night, that's me. And normally between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. he sleeps so well. So like if he wakes up, it's me. And then I don't feel guilty about leaving at 5 in the morning because rarely he wakes up.
It's from 3 a.m. So he's not very good until 3 a.m.
Until 3 a.m. Like last night I got up 3 times.
What?
Yeah, I'm not doing a good job with the sleep. It takes me 2 hours to pat him, to rock him to sleep.
And he's big boy. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Hey,
I don't know.
It's not forever. It's not forever. It's all temporary. It feels like it's forever.
Yeah.
I have to lie with Ari. I have to lie on the base of his bed like a dog.
Yeah.
And he will play with toys on his pillow until he gets sick of that. And then every now and then he'll glance to make sure I'm there.
That's
Mummy,
funny.
you still there? And I say,
Does
yeah,
he
mate,
get
I'm still
upset when
there.
you're asleep? Because my son does.
Oh no, I never go to sleep.
Okay.
The
bed's too small for you?
Well, I'm lying. It's like he's a king single, and I'm lying the wrong way on
Sure.
it.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't. No, if Lucas had to put him to bed, Lucas can fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah,
It's like
I fall
a dog.
asleep on the ground and he is devastated by that. I didn't give you a very good intro, by the way.
Hey, that's all right.
I thank you for listening to the podcast. My guest today is Bron Lewis. Bron was a very good friend of mine from Brisbane comedy scene. She has become unbelievably famous in the Australian comedy scene recently.
That.
2 amazing podcasts, Work Hates and
You're Two Drunk Aunties.
Two Drunk Aunties.
Yeah.
And you're always on like TV now. It's so exciting.
sometimes,
Been on
yeah.
the project heaps. Thank God you're here once or twice.
Once, yeah.
And then have you been paying attention? You seem to be on every other week.
That's a bit. Yeah, I'm on that maybe 5 times a season, which was fun.
Yeah.
To be like the edit feels brutal sometimes because they'll edit it right down.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you'll be so happy with the joke.
Yes.
You'll be
and
like,
it doesn't make the
and
cut.
Yeah. And or you'll do a callback to someone's joke, which absolutely kills, but they've had to remove that first joke for whatever reason. And so your callback doesn't make it. And you're like,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And you feel like it's so personal, but it's not, because there's 5 people that they're trying to show that are all equally funny.
Sure.
And so at the end of it, you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. But you go, like, it's so great that I'm on. It's so lucky. How I got on is they came and saw my show 2 years ago, although like my first ever Melbourne Comedy Festival show. The producers came along. I had no idea.
Dog, right? Or Working Dog?
From Working Dog, yeah.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're
Castle,
awesome.
Utopia.
Oh my God, they're so clever. So I had no idea they were in there, and then I got an email from them the same morning that I got nominated for Best Newcomer, or new whatever that's called. And so I had this morning, and it was one of the most insane mornings of my life, because I had an email from the Melbourne Comedy Festival saying, "Can you please be here on the town hall steps by this time?" I was like, "I don't know what this is for." And they'd like had some ruse, like, "Oh, the minister wants to take photos with the people who've done a good show this year." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's pretty nice. Okay, well, I'll go to that." So I went along, and then they like, "Oh, the minister's not actually coming." And I was like, "Oh, that's disappointing. I've come here." And on the way to there, by the way, on the way to there, Olive, my eldest, was saying it was sick and she'd been vomiting, and then she'd vomited, like, there was blood in it. And I was like, shit, that looks awful. And my mum's like, no, it's fine. It's just probably something in her esophagus. Don't worry. Mum used to be a nurse.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like, I really feel like I should take her to the hospital.
Sure.
And Olive was like a stress head, so she was like, "Oh, hospital! I have to go to the hospital." And I was like, "I really feel like I should take her." Mum was like, "You don't have to take her to the hospital." It was the end of the festival. I was a shell of a woman, so I wasn't really thinking straight. And Mum goes, "You just go to this thing." So I went to this thing. The whole time I was like, what is this thing? But also, my 7 or 8 year old, or whoever she was, is vomiting blood. I really, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, this is a real mistake that I'm here.
Yeah.
And then the lady came over and said, "You've been nominated for Best Newcomer." And I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "But I've really, like, can we quickly take the photo? I've just got to go
Yeah.
to the hospital." And they were like, "Why?" I was like, "Oh, because my daughter's vomiting blood." And so that had this, like, them looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I actually don't know what I'm doing here."
That's good, that response. It would have been weird if they were like, "Yeah, but you've just been Best Newcomer."
I know. And then so I was like running to the tram. I looked at my phone. I had an email from the Working Dog being like, "We loved your show. We'd love you to would talk to you about being on this."
Was it Rob Stitch or who was it?
No, it was one of the producers, Susanna Mott, and she's great. She's an absolute powerhouse. So she said, and I looked at this, and because I was so flustered with everything, I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good.
That's so funny.
That's lovely. I'll meet you for a coffee."
Must have been like, "Oh, she's not that excited."
Yeah, totally. And then I spent the rest of the day in the waiting room with Olive, and it was just absolutely nothing. But she was so anxious that she'd made herself sick, basically.
That's incredible, though, that you would have had the highest highs and then you're in emergency.
Yeah, and the whole time being like, like being excited, and all these people sending me congratulations and texts and looking at it, like, about the nomination.
Yeah.
And being like, thanks. And then like being like, why am I on my phone? And like there's a little tiny little sick girl next to me. And I think that's part of what I struggle with in comedy a bit, is like finding because it is truly, as you asked me about addiction, like, it is addictive. It is addictive. You go on stage and you get one of the biggest highs in the world, because everyone is like validating you for something, a thought you've had, like something that you have created.
Yeah.
And then you've offered it to them, and they've been like, "Do you know what? That's fucking genius." And you're like, "Oh my God, maybe I am a genius.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a literal genius."
Yeah.
And you never got praise like that in teaching, obviously. That was never a thing.
Yeah. Or anywhere in life.
Yeah, well, maybe there is only place.
Did anyone direct you? Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Finish your thought, sorry.
So I think, I gig a lot. And I look back at the time when Ari was, I gigged here at Sitdown Comedy Club the night before Ari was born.
Yeah. I feel like I might have been on that lineup that night with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
unreal.
night before he was born. And then I was back 3 weeks after he was born.
Yeah.
But I was so scared of losing a skill, because it's so hard at the start.
Yeah.
It is so brutal and so hard, and you have all of and I remember Fideli saying to me, a guy who runs Sitdown, he said, "Hey, if you stop and start," and he's absolutely right, if you stop and start, you have to learn some of the skills you've learned again.
Yeah.
And
I
was
said
like,
that to me heaps of times.
Yeah. And he's right.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think he's right. Like, I've watched people stop and start, they come back and they've lost a bunch of things, and then they have to learn the hard way again. And I was like, I do not want to do an extra gig that I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I don't want any of these to be in vain.
Yeah.
every single one of them,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, that was for a reason, that was for a reason, that was for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not slowing this down at all. So I was like, I'm just not starting again. So 3 weeks after Ari was born, I was at one of the worst gigs I've ever done in my whole life. And I can't even remember what suburb. It was a sit-down one, but I think it was like 11 people in the audience.
Green
And
I shouldn't embarrass them.
But it was just one of those ones where it was like 11 people in the audience and it was really hard. But I was doing 20 minutes and I did every single joke that I'd ever had because I was still really new to it. And I know that some people, like my mother-in-law said this morning, it's really lucky that you're good at this because she came and saw my show last night and she always says the worst things ever and she thinks it's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's really great that you're good at comedy because your kids don't really have a mother. I'm like, what the actual hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
She was like, well, you know what I mean. You're absent.
I'm only laughing at that because of the jokes that you made last
yes,
night.
exactly,
Sorry.
yeah.
Otherwise, it would look really heartless for me to be laughing at that comment. Yeah. Was she offended by the jokes?
No, she
last
loved
night?
it.
Yeah, cool.
She knows. She said that she's worked out, someone's explained to her she's got a resting bitch face. So she's like, and even her saying that in her Polish accent is funny.
Yeah.
She knows. Even at the end of the show, she walked over to me with this like just deadpan face. Even like I would go as far as to say a frown.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are we doing? Are we having dinner or? I said, oh, so you loved the show?
Yeah.
And she went, oh, sorry.
That's funny.
I was like, Christ almighty.
That's so funny.
Impossible to please.
Yeah. Also, your Workades podcast, I feel like I love it so much, but you've never had anyone on.
Yes.
You always make a point in the intro to say, and if you're not this arsehole, or if you don't have the arsehole in your office, then you are that arsehole.
Yeah.
I reckon I'm the arsehole.
Oh my God.
You've never had an arsehole or someone that's willing to admit it.
Yes.
I used to own a swim school, which I think, you know, because I taught your kids for a little bit. I reckon I micromanaged people. And what was the other thing that I used to do? Oh, yeah. I feel like I was such an arsehole as a boss.
Did anyone complain? Did people quit a lot?
Nah. But it was, the industry that had a high turnover generally. But like the last 12 months I've just been lifeguarding at different pools and I've seen lots of arsehole bosses and I'm like, oh, I thought I was a good boss. But actually, no, I reckon I'm like this person or like this person.
Right.
I used to get so annoyed with staff being lazy and not doing anything. I used to write job lists with time increments. That's pretty bad, hey? Like, at this time you got to clean this, at this time.
But I think you always thought you were probably trying to be helpful.
Yeah, or I think I just didn't want to be paying someone to just sit on their bum and not do anything.
And sometimes you're going to get people who do that. And
but also, you should get to sit on your bum sometimes and like, I don't know.
Wow, so you were like making up for every minute they were there.
No, not every minute. No, but I don't know. I think I just forgot what it was like to be an employee.
Yeah.
I think
that's good. That's good. It's good reflection.
Yeah.
That's a very good reflection. It's really good because some people don't ever have that. And also some people have been a boss for so long that they're like, they're just heartless.
Yeah.
Because they just forget.
Yeah.
Like you said.
We're at that time in the podcast now. We pick out 3 topics from the hat and just talk about them. Just one at a time.
All right. One at a time? Okay. All right. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
What's your favourite city you visited? Favourite city I visited?
You've visited so many cities. You've done roadshow all around Australia.
Yeah.
Melbourne Comedy Roadshow.
Yeah. I would like to say one in Australia, but I think it would it's going to have to be somewhere else. I really liked Budapest. It was really nice. Really bustling, has heaps of history.
That's the capital of
Hungary.
Okay.
And it was nice. It was really, I really liked that. I like a place where there's something to do. I like the place where, you walk through. Also Warsaw in Poland, so nice. There's heaps of history there.
Yep.
I don't think we have, I think that we kind of dismiss our history quite a bit here in Australia.
Was that pre-kids as well? You were there?
No, we went with kids. We went with both.
That sounds horrible.
It was actually, that part was way too hard. We went with a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old.
Yeah, okay.
And it was...
But you still enjoyed it?
No, I still loved it because I walked around like, this is beautiful. But if I had to say somewhere in Australia, like I love anywhere in the Northern Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
They're so beautiful. Nice. But I couldn't live there.
Why? Too quiet?
Too quiet.
Yeah.
I think I would... Because I grew up in most of my childhood, I spent in a house in Queanbeyan, just outside Canberra. It's really suburban. It is like painstakingly suburban, where you feel trapped. so I was like I was there. Well, I didn't have my license yet, so I was really trapped. And the local shops was the servo on this like highway, so I'd have to walk. There was always magpies swooping, so you have to like walk with like a stick above your head.
Yeah.
You know, a few blocks, and then get to this highway, and you walk to the shops and buy like a $7 Magnum, and you were just like, this is
life.
This is my life. Yeah. So when I come,
okay, you were saying, is it you didn't want to be there?
No.
Okay, I thought you were saying this is awesome. Yeah. Okay.
No, I hate it. So every time I'm in I struggled a bit with Brisbane because I do, and I made a joke about this in my Raw set. I said I live in Brisbane, Australia's biggest suburb, because there are it does, like, even though it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a real suburban vibe.
Yeah. Restaurants close at 9. Good ones at 7 or 8.
Yeah. And Lucas's family live in Castledine, and there's like everyone parks on their lawns.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You've got like the widest streets in the world.
Yeah.
All got driveways. You've all got like double garages,
Yeah.
but you still park on the lawn. What is? There's all these like, and that's what they do in Queanbeyan as well. So I couldn't ever live in a. We live in Brunswick in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And
very hooty tooty, isn't it? Affluent area?
No, I don't know if it's affluent. It's pretty grubby. Like it's but it's expensive to buy there, but like, you know, it's pretty grubby. Like we can see, if I stood on my roof, I could see a Centrelink.
Sure, okay.
It's like, it's not flash.
Yeah, okay.
And like Sydney Road, it's like, it's pretty grubby and heaps of like closed down shops.
Yeah.
But it just feels like something. Like people live there.
Yeah.
It feels like it's well lived in. You know, we're not very friendly with our neighbours. I wish we were friendly with our neighbours.
I remember having a conversation with you 3 or 4 years ago. I was having real problems with my neighbour.
Yes, I remember that.
And you told me about a horrible neighbour that you lived near when you lived in Melbourne. And I remember that put things in perspective. Your situation sounded worse with your neighbour.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you? Yeah. You don't live there anymore, do you?
I do, but they've moved. And I have amazing neighbours now.
Great.
They're all so nice and lovely.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. Do you think you'd ever want to live in like America or England or anywhere?
No. I think if I started comedy earlier, one, I don't think I would have anything to talk about. But the one thing, if I'd done comedy before I had kids, or if I decided not to have kids, I would definitely try UK or America.
Yeah.
I would probably UK. I would just go over and give it a go. I would love to know. I'd love to know what is this? What am I capable of?
Yeah.
And you can see what you're capable of in Australia, but you know, like you see, like James Forbes McCann. He's an Adelaide comedian who like struggled to settle in Adelaide, in his hometown, and then he went to America. Now he's selling like $1 million worth of tickets a year. I'm not even exaggerating.
Doing
he's
the mothership,
huge.
and then he's come back here and sold out this venue 2 or 3 times. It's incredible. Hey,
it's really cool. But he wouldn't have ever known that, and the world wouldn't have ever recognised him if he didn't just go over and take a chance in a different country.
Yeah,
yeah,
that is incredible. I'll pick out the second topic. Is that cool?
Okay, absolutely.
If you could host a talk show, it's kind of relevant for you. Would you have one? Okay, I'll read the question first.
Yeah, sure.
If you could host a talk show, who would you have on first as a guest, I'm assuming? You've kind of lived this dream already because you do host many podcasts.
I host a couple. Do you know who I loved having on so much?
Can I guess? Urzila?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's amazing.
So I remember when I signed with my manager, she said to me, whose career?
Hey?
Yeah. She said, whose career do you want? And I said, Kitty Flanagan's. And she said, yeah, or why not Urzila's? And I was like, oh, my God. It just felt like that was like Kitty.
Not attainable?
Yeah. Urzila is so enormous. And
even more so now because of that Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer? Maybe?
Yep. Amy Schumer. No, it's Amy Schumer is kind of pregnant. So ever since, and I was like, oh, it just felt like, because she sells out the Palais Theatre. She has won the People's Choice Award, which is the
most recent one, hey?
Yes. It's the award goes to whoever's sold the most tickets in Melbourne International Comedy Festival. She does not even do the whole run.
Yeah.
She just does like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think Aaron Chen was the same the previous year. It's because his venue was so big.
It was so big, but also in his speech when he won, he said, I'd like to thank Urzila for having the year off because there's no way he would have beaten her.
Wow, okay.
Urzila is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
She just... But in real life, you talk to her, she's so funny
humble.
and so nice and just like, she's
my normal friend outside of comedy, owns a solar panel business. He saw her one day and just went up and talked to her and she was lovely to him. And I'm like, I feel like that would have been annoying for her. But that's lovely.
No, she's just lovely. And she is just like she's really one of those people where that doesn't take her like her success for granted.
Yeah.
She like loves her kids, but also has like put heaps of effort into her career, and it's all worked out. And I'm like, that is what I want.
Would you ever want to do a talk show, do you think, on TV?
Lucas reckons I should. That's my partner. He's
I feel like you'd be incredible as a host. You're incredible as a guest, but I feel like you would be a great host as well.
Thanks. I don't know. Like, I mean, I think Australia's it would be tricky here. Like Sam Pang, who is Australia's darling, everything he does, Australia loves. Every single show. He like hosts the Logies, and everyone goes crazy for him. He just gets, and then every joke he does on Have You Been Paying Attention? It always makes the edit. Everyone loves him so much, and he's so nice. Just like Urzila, super successful, really funny, really really nice. Like gives you a cuddle, looks you in the eye, asks you questions about your life. Like he doesn't have to do that, and he'd still be just as successful. But he puts effort back into his job and to the people he works with. But he started a talk show, and then Australia was like, "Oh, it's not." I haven't watched it, if I'm honest. But people are like, "Oh, it's not very good." I'm like, God, who would you want then?
Yeah,
if it's not Sam Pang,
he's the perfect person for
absolutely.
That sort of thing. Yeah, totally.
I think so. I think it would be hard to. I think, and this is just probably the imposter syndrome in me. It's just going, if I was given that opportunity, I reckon I would be crucified.
Yeah. I guess, though, talk show could be like what Melanie Bracewell and I guess who else does that sort of
Tim
stuff?
McDonald. Oh, are you talking about the cheap seats?
Yeah.
Tim McDonald is her co-host.
Yeah. There's so many good little panel shows like that at the moment.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brett and I are hoping to do something with Work Hates. We don't know what.
Yeah.
We're hoping to push that into something else. Because when you find a co-host that you can work really well with, and we know each other well enough now, at the start, like I have to go back and listen to our first ever episode because my sister said to me, if you went back and listened to your first episode, it's good, but you didn't know each other very well. Yeah. And we didn't know. I remember being like really awkward and being like, oh God, I don't know.
It's very entertaining, the banter and also the chemistry and the fact that you... giving each other shit and, it's very good.
It's very fun. He's very fun and he's super annoying.
One final topic.
Okay. What's your favourite book of all time?
Oh, do you read?
Yeah, I can read.
You can read. Do you read for fun? Do you audiobook?
I audiobook, but I used to read a lot because I was an English teacher. But I think when I stopped being an English teacher, I was like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And also I don't have time. And I also love watching telly.
Yeah.
It's like so last night, finished all those shows, came home, had a shower, laid on the bed, opened up my iPad and I watched Call the Midwife. And I'm like, this is easy.
Yep.
It is it's easy to consume.
Yep.
It's entertaining. I'm not thinking about what went well or what didn't go well in the gig. And it will get me tired enough to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't really have any nights. Do you remember when you started comedy where you would be up for hours? Like there's absolutely no way you can go to sleep. You just lie there
You're
going.
still on a high.
Yeah,
that's
a high
weird.
or a low, and you're just like cringing or you're, thrilled and you're going, and you're like, oh, but that guy didn't laugh and I wonder what it was. And
you don't have that
if
anymore?
I went on, nah.
That's perfect.
Oh, it's so nice. I hated the nerves. The things I don't miss is the nerves. I don't get them anymore. And
you did do 4 hours of stand-up comedy yesterday, which is crazy.
I know. Yeah, but also like I would have been less talking than I would have done as a teacher.
Yeah.
But it was I did feel crazy by the end. Like the show that you came and saw, I was like, 30% of the jokes, I was looking at the audience to try and see if they'd heard it before. Yeah. I was like, have I said this yet?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Because you'd done 2 shows previously. You're like deja vu moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I was really, really sensitive to people's reactions to certain jokes because I'd start one and a lady would like kind of nudge her mate and whisper something and it could have been about anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, she's telling her that I've said this joke before.
That's so funny.
So I was like, I don't recommend doing 3 shows, but it's not as, and I think that everyone's like, wow, it's incredible you did so many shows. I was like, well, that's not as much teaching as talking as I would have done as a teacher. And also nothing is as hard as having a newborn. I'm so sorry to say that to you.
Sure.
Without everything, having a newborn was hands down the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I think I've ever done.
Yeah.
It is so hard. It's relentless, and it's like it's so unpredictable. And that's the lack of sleep and the mess and the noise and it's like the first 3 months I found, and there's some people who love it. Like my sister has had 4 kids, and her favorite stage of all of them is newborn. She was like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, the crying, it's okay.
I like 7 months on at the moment, I think.
Okay, great. I like 4 on.
Okay.
No, I think
4
I
years
like
old.
No, I think I liked I reckon once I get to 18 months, it's a bit easy. And then 2, but my favourite age of all time is 4.
Yeah.
Because they can talk to you.
Yeah.
And they're funny and
Nice.
they've actually got a personality. Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, totally. And so even when Ari was born in the newborn stage, I was like, I want the next 4 years to fly.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, looking back at photos of him when he was like, like a fat 10-month-old crawling everywhere. And I'm like, that was cute, but it's hard.
Yeah. So funny because like with the 2 hours that I'm rocking him, I'm like almost crying going, this is incredibly hard. And then I get him down and then I go on my phone and just look at photos of him, which is fucked. Like I should be sick anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Follow Bron on social media.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, heaps of shows coming up.
Well, it's just the encore ones now.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in Brisbane 7th Yep. And that'll be great. And then there's a bunch of like Melbourne. I'm doing encore my film, and all my specials are out. So I've got last 2 years of specials have been released on YouTube. So if you want to
one of them's got like 40,000 views.
Yeah, that
amazing.
one.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, I didn't include like the sensitive bit. I had a sensitive bit in that bit. I didn't include it because I thought we were just going to cut it up for bits. So I was like, well, I'm not just going to put the sensitive bit out.
Yeah.
And because that bit was all about why we fear turning into our mother, and the reason we fear turning into our mother is because we've seen the worst of them. And so that bit it was a really crucial part of the show, but I didn't use do it for the special, and then the bits were going so well. My manager was like, "Oh, we're just going to release the whole thing," and I was like, "But it's not the whole thing." And she was like, "That doesn't matter." And I'm like,
"Do you regret it now, or are you glad?"
Yeah, I think about it way too much.
Yeah.
If I wish I'd just done the show, and now, but it's a hard lesson to learn, and this is I'll never make that mistake again. Just do the whole thing, and it's there. I just didn't want to waste people's time. You're like, "Oh gosh, they said I should only do 45, so I'll just do 45." But they were like, "It's set up. Just do an hour. Who cares?" Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Never again. Always do the whole show.
Bron Lewis, thanks so much.
Thanks, Codie.